So I was reminiscing and taking a trip down memory lane. Reminiscing, taking a trip down memory lane, I came across an all-star state letter jacket. And coming from Leedey, you would assume that it would be either baseball or basketball. Well, you're wrong. This was a letter jacket coming from a great speaker. Brad was the Oklahoma State Speak Champion 2 years in a row while in high school. But what the patches on this jacket won't tell you is that while growing up, Brad could hardly finish a sentence. Brad had a stuttering problem that was so severe that we finally had to get some help to get him to work through this. However, he was able to overcome that and many other obstacles, which led him to being here tonight. I am so proud and honored to introduce my son as your guest speaker, Brad Bean.
All-state speech. For the graduating seniors, for those you don't know, all-state speech in high school, I was kind of a chick magnet. There's a group of those girls that really go after the baseball guys, right? There's these group of girls that really go after the basketball guys, and then there's really not a group of girls that go after the speech guys. So, all-state speech. It's funny you pulled that out. I remember when I first wore that my freshman year at OSU, and I'm walking into campus, and I got my all-state jacket on, and I'm in line to get some food, and this big guy comes up behind me, and he slaps me on the back, and he's like, "All-state, man, it's cool." I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Track or like wrestling or football?" I'm like, "No, man, speech." He's like, "I didn't know they made one for speech." Hey, happy face, sad face. That's what I do, man. So I actually took that jacket home and threw it in the pig barn, and I'm kind of funny that Mom actually dug that out. So that is a true story. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. So real quick, I do want to, now that I haven't grown up, now that I'm older, and I have a couple kids, Mom, you were right pretty much about everything. So parents, you're right too. Guys, I hope you understand that. The teachers, and just for a second, I want to take the focus off the graduating seniors and put the focus on the parents and the and the faculty and the teachers. You guys did a great job. Give yourself a round of applause, please, just for a second. Honestly, without you guys, I know they wouldn't be here, and without my mom and dad, I know I wouldn't be here, so thank you so much. So I was calling Rusty Puffenberger because this is actually me and our 20-year reunion after graduating high school. So I was talking to Rusty and my cousin and good friend Corey Hall, who also graduated, and another buddy of mine named Corey Allen. I'm like, "Guys, I want to tell some stories about when we graduated, maybe, I don't know, something about sports, maybe some baseball or something." And Corey Hall goes, "Why don't you tell them the time you dropped that fly ball in the state finals?" Again, true story. And then Corey Allen, right after that, like any good friend would say, he's like, "Brad, don't take it so hard on yourself." He said, it's not that you missed the fly ball in the state final. It's not about that. He said, it's the fact that you just can't catch fly balls. That is the problem. He's like, you can fly a helicopter 2 feet off the ground at nighttime with night vision goggles and lasers. He said, heck, you could probably shoot a baseball with a 50-millimeter gun and blow it out of the sky. But it would take an act of God to get that ball to hit you in the glove. So if you're from Leedey and you can't catch a fly ball, I guess there's only one of us in this room, but you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. So try to think about stuff to talk about. I know you've been given a lot of advice, and so I'm just going to tell you some life stories that I've been through over the last 20 years, anywhere from military to personal experiences, and hopefully you get something from it, and if not, well, I had a good time up here talking to you for sure, because these stories are crazy. It's going to be a good time, I guarantee it. So the first thing I want to tell you about is take action. Take action. Because today in the world, you go out there on the internet, we have books that tells us how to do everything, right? I don't think it's our inability to know what to do. I think it's our inability to take action and to start doing it. Here's my example. There's books out there to tell you how to get rich. There's books out there to tell you how to save your money. There's books out there to tell you how to fall in love. There's a book to tell you how to get married. There's a book to tell you how to get divorced. There's a book called the book, right? The Bible, right? You heard of that? It's called the book. It's got all the answers in it. So it's not the fact that we don't know what to do. It's the fact that sometimes we don't take that first step and take action. Real quick, when we were back in Iraq, we had a first sergeant, mean as nails. I mean, just wiry. And a first sergeant, for those of you who don't know what that is, he's the highest ranking non-commissioned officer in the whole company. He's like 50. And he's, we're like, he's so old. He's not that old now, but at the time he was old. And he had the scar across his face, kind of like the John Wayne. But he could outrun everybody. He could do more push-ups than you, man. He was just hard as nails. And he always told me, he said, show me, don't tell me. Show me, don't tell me. And in fact, he said it so much, it got a little weird. Like I'd be saying, hey, First Sergeant, we're going to get some lunch. And he'd be like, show me, don't tell me. That doesn't make any sense. That's kind of, we're just going to get some lunch, not a big deal. But that guy was so hardcore. And what he meant was take action. So we were in Iraq. We followed right behind the Marines. And God bless the Marines. They just shot holes in everything. Everything's just destroyed. We have no air conditioning. We're brushing our teeth in porta potties. And, the morale's kind of low. So it's about 135 degrees, and the first sergeant, he walks up, and he's all snorting. He's mad. He's like, sir, we've got to get the troops. We've got to get them back fired up. And I said, okay, First Sergeant, let's line them all up, and I'll do my little speech, and I'll walk back and forth and puff my chest out, and we'll get these guys fired up. So we line them all out. We're in the middle of the desert. We line them all up. We get them all, in a little formation. They're all dressed right dress. I said, all right, ladies. First Sergeant came to me and said, you guys are complaining. Well, I know it's hot. We're in the desert. It's 135 degrees. I know we don't have air conditioner. Okay? I know we're brushing our teeth in porta johns. I'm here with you. I get that, all right? But since you guys started complaining, everything's gotten better. Which is absolutely not true. Right? Complaining hasn't got us anywhere. Let me tell you a story about a man named Noah. Okay? Noah lived a long time ago, and it starts to rain. And all of Noah's friends are like, man, it's raining. And then it rains for a little bit longer, and a little bit longer. In 2 or 3 months, it's starting to flood, and all of Noah's friends are like, man, it's starting to flood. Somebody should do something. You know where Noah is? He's building a boat. Right? And Noah turned out okay. I said, so guys, I know it's raining. I know it's hot. Don't tell me how bad it is. Somebody build me a boat. I need somebody to show me. Don't tell me. And in the back of the formation, there's that old crusty first sergeant, and he's smiling from ear to ear because he knows that I finally understood what he was talking about. Somebody take some action. Don't tell me it's raining. Build me a boat. Show me, don't tell me. And no kidding, within about 2 months, those great Oklahoma soldiers had procured some air conditioning units. Sound like some things you guys did. They procured some electrical conduit, and we were actually one of the very first companies to have air conditioning in that whole base, right? So that's the whole show me, don't tell me. It wasn't that they didn't know how to do it. They wanted to spend time complaining about it as opposed to doing something about it. Okay, so take action. That was some story. I tell you, these guys, they did a lot of work. And so when you try to take action, just be advised that there's going to be a few things in your way. I call them naysayers, or chicken littles, or basically negative people, all right? And these negative people, or turkeys, I know you've heard that one, the turkeys. You can't soar like an eagle when you run with the turkeys. And I love negative people because they're so good at stating the obvious, right? Like, for example, oh, it's hot. Oh, it's terrible out here. Oh, my God. Oh, my knees hurt, my back hurts. Oh, my God. The whole time, right? And you know these people very well. I know them very well. I got a couple of them, friends of mine. Yeah, I know it's bad. And they'll read the newspaper and pick out all the bad stuff that's going on, and then they tell you about it, like 10 times. Like, man, somebody should really do something. Somebody should really do something about this. somebody should just do something. You know, see, if you keep saying somebody should do something, as opposed to you saying maybe I should do something, you're probably a turkey. You need to get around some eagles, the big claws, like, man, let's go kick some butt, let's go do some stuff, let's make things happen, right? And they're soaring, like, and here's the turkeys, crazy eagles. Probably gonna break his neck up there flying around like that. Right? Negative people, so watch out for that. Stay away from the turkeys and hang with the eagles, and you're gonna have a great time. I guarantee you that. See, one more story. That's a good one. Here's one for you. So, working for Stryker, it's a new medical company, small town boy, right? Graduated OSU, went to flight school, did a couple tours in Iraq, came back, and now started a new job in the medical industry. And so I'm in my first surgery watching this total knee. And I take place, they're getting a total knee. And I got my little stuff on, and I'm just a helicopter pilot, no medical training whatsoever. Doc looks at me and he says, "What do you think, Brad?" And I look around, I look at everybody else, and everybody's on one side. Looks pretty good, Doc. Looks pretty good. You want to buy it? I mean, are we going to sell something here? So the medical sales industry. In my first year, I just had Oklahoma City, and we're in our big sales meeting, kind of like this. There's about 300 sales reps, and I'm in the back, far, far back. And they brought up the top 10, and then they brought the number 1 sales reps for the last 20 years, and they all want the stage. And I sat in the back, and honestly, I was a turkey, just for a little bit. I was a turkey. And the turkey in the back, which was me, Brad Dean, going, you know what? I should be up there. Number 1 rep. I bet you I could do that. But the reason I'm not up there is because, well, the number 1 rep was from New York, right? We had another guy from Dallas. He had all of Dallas. I mean, the whole thing, right? I have Oklahoma City. So I'm like, surely there's, if I just had their territory, I would be number 1. If I just had what they had, I could do it. And then I realized what I was doing was I was basically coveting my neighbor's property. So it'd be like driving down the road going, you know what, man, he has a nice yard. If I had that yard, I could do something with that. I mean, I could really do something. Then the next, man, you know what, he's got a nice yard. If I had that yard, I could really make some things happen if I just had what he had. Ooh, that's a nice yard. A little pink flamingo in the yard, that's a nice yard. And then I stopped, and I said, you know what? I need to go home and water my dang grass. Right? Because my grass is dying. And so I thought, why don't I just show me, don't tell me. Why don't I take some action? And that was 2006. So in 2011, I was number 1 rep. Number 1 in the whole country, right? So there's a lot of people out here that are from Leedey that have done some great things, some awesome things. So don't tell me you can't do it. I did it. Brad Dean from Leedey, all right? Show me, don't tell me. I'm done. Thanks.
Leg kick was great.